our next guest, has been in the industry for nearly 40 years. He graced the covers of Teen Magazine in the 90s and has one of the most memorable TV catchphrases. But he's here to tell us all about his new movie, Joey Lawrence.
Yes!
How are you?
Yes. First of all, welcome, brother, and on behalf of the DBL family, we want to say congratulations. You just welcomed a baby girl in the world.
Yes, you did. Had my third daughter, man. Yeah, she's 2 weeks old. It's crazy. Crazy.
It looks like you really let yourself go in the process.
Yeah, right.
You know, dad bod all over the place. Now, you also have two teenage daughters, so tell us, you know, I have 3 kids too. What is it like having a newborn in the house again?
It's wild. Brings back a lot of great memories, you know. A lot of sleepless nights and a lot of crying. You know, explosive diapers.
Yes, sir.
Well, no, it's been a great journey, you know, doing this again at this age now, at my ripe old age of 46. You know, it's I have a whole different perspective. You know, when I was 29 the first time around, you know, every cry freaked me out. I didn't know what was happening. You want to call the doctor like every time the baby's uncontrollably crying, and then you realize after you get through it that it's usually either they're hungry or they have some gas. That's what it is. You know?
It's like me.
So you take things aside and feel a lot more comfortable with things, and things don't stress you out as much, and it's sort of an interesting perspective to have this time around.
And you got 2 teens to take care of the kid. I'd be like, yo,
Babysit.
Absolutely.
Built-in babysitters, for sure.
Yeah, we have a 6- and a 4-year-old, and we just got out of there. So going back, it's rough. It's rough. But Joey, we actually did a movie like 6 or 7 years ago. I'm surprised you didn't notice that right away. We were on set together for about 8 hours. But it was called Wish for Christmas. Joey, I just want to tell you, you were fantastic. I had to go stand up and do this monologue. It was my first scene like ever, and it was long. And Joey, you're sitting right there. You just encouraged me on, so I just want to say
what's up.
thank you for that, buddy.
I totally remember you. I saw 100%, man. We both got a little more gray now, but
Of course, yeah, and a couple more kids now. A couple more kids.
Well, that's what causes the gray. This is like this is all Dylan right here. This first 2 weeks right there.
Exactly. I just want to tell you, you were fantastic. But let's talk about your new movie, Frankie Meets Jack. This was the first movie script that you wrote, and you wrote it with your wife, Samantha. What was it like working with your wife and writing that script?
Dude, it was great. You know, Sam and I met on a movie about 3.5 years ago that my brother Andrew directed for Lifetime, which that's never really happened in all my years, 41 years of doing this, believe it or not. I've never really met anybody like that, and you know, that was on screen, and then you just unexpectedly fell in love with that person. They're like the greatest person ever. So, and we were talking over the lockdown and everything. We just said, you know, we were watching all these romantic comedies that we love so much, you know, like When Harry Met Sally and How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, and My Best Friend's Wedding, and all these things. We're like, let's try to write something for ourselves, because she's so funny and she's so cute and she loves dogs and animals. So we just decided to put our minds together and write something. And then we wrote it and shared it with a couple of our friends who we trust. And they said, man, this script is really great, you know, for a first time couple ever writing something together. And we sold it to Fox and Tubi, and it premieres this Friday night. It's called Frankie Meets Jack.
Unbelievable.
yes, congratulations.
That's so exciting.
Just
Now,
a cute little movie, a little escapism, hopefully.
Yes.
You know, yeah. I just hope people enjoy it. It's just a cute little, you know, romantic comedy.
That's
all
what we
need
need.
that.
We totally
do.
need that. I want to ask you this. The late Anne Heche is in this movie, and her last social media posts were actually from the movie set. And I just wanted to have you have the floor here. What was it like working with her just weeks before her untimely death?
You know, it's so surreal. I mean, you know, I called Anne and I asked her to be a part of our little movie. You know, I mean, Anne obviously has done massively huge movies with Harrison Ford, Johnny Depp, and all these big stars, everything. And I called her up. I said, Sam, we got this, you know, Anne, we got this great part. And I said, you know, we would love to have you be a part of the movie. And she said, let me read it, honey. I said, okay. So we sent her the script. I think I can do this. I'm just going to be me. I was like, that's all we want.
Oh,
and
wow.
she was such a testament to, like, there's no small part. And she came on set and approached it like it was a big budget movie. And she brought her A game, and she was fantastic. And as people have been watching this thing in the pre-screens, like, they just can't believe how exuberant she is. And that's what she is on set. I mean, we actually shot with her the last 3 days of the movie, put all of her scenes into 3 days. She came to our wrap party, stayed to the very end. I mean, just like totally invested in everything that she did. There was no ego there. She talked about her kids and her son going to, you know, tennis camp, and like, it's just crazy that they're like, you know, such a few weeks later, for that to be it. It's just, it's really a wild reminder of how short life is, how precious here is. And although we get caught up in all the minutia of what we want to complain about and things that we find wrong with things, man, if we get to wake up every day and just kind of live life, like that's the win, So it is surreal. And, we did In Loving Memory, obviously, and dedicated the movie to her. That's the least we could do. And, the reaction to her job in this thing has been great. I'm glad that she went out on a part that she had so much fun playing. She really did have fun. Yeah.
Beautifully stated. Beautifully stated. Thank you for sharing that with us. We cannot have you on our show without talking about Blossom. During its 5 seasons, there were many guest appearances. I used to watch your show every week. Who, in your opinion, was the most memorable guest appearance?
You're right. Well, you're showing them right there. First of all, we had Mr. T, we had Salt and Pepper, we had, but we also had a lot of actors like James Marsden was on there and Stephen Dorff was on there. And one of my favorites, though, believe it or not, is Terry Kaiser, who played Bernie in Weekend at Bernie's. And this was like when that movie came out in 1989. I was in 7th grade, and my best friend Chris and I, we flipped over this movie. I got the VHS of this movie. We burned this movie out. I swear we must have watched this movie 100 times. Okay, I know this movie by heart. So when they cast Bernie in Blossom as he was like a record store owner, I mean, of all the big stars we had on that show, I flipped it. That was the one. And I was obsessed with having him do it. And he did the Bernie chagrin, and I'll never forget it. I was obsessed, man. We had so much fun. Oh,
That's hilarious. Of all the movies, Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's. I love it. We all watched it.
For sure.
Hardcore.
You got to come back.
Joey, what a treat. If you're ever in Denver, you have to join us on the panel. Thank you so much for joining us. And to our reviewers, you can watch Frankie Meets Jack Friday, February 3rd on Tubi. Congratulations, Joey. We'll be right back.
Good to see you, buddy.
Thank you so much, everybody.
All right.
Bye.